Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater? That the challenges you face in life are not just random, but part of a divine plan? If so, you might be one of the chosen ones, handpicked by God for a higher purpose. But how can you be sure? In this video, we will reveal 7 powerful signs that indicate you are chosen by God and why you may be going through spiritual tests that shape your journey. Throughout history, those chosen by God have experienced unique struggles, moments of clarity, and divine guidance that set them apart from others. Whether it's facing constant trials, feeling a deep sense of purpose, or receiving unexpected signs, these experiences are not mere coincidences. They are indicators of a divine calling. As we explore each sign, you'll gain a deeper understanding of your spiritual journey and how to embrace it with faith and confidence. You'll learn how God uses these tests to refine you, strengthen your character, and prepare you for the destiny He has planned for you. Stay with us until the end, where we'll uncover not only the signs but also the reason behind your spiritual trials, because understanding them is key to overcoming them. Remember, being chosen by God doesn't mean an easy life. It means a meaningful one. So if you've ever wondered why you experience certain challenges, or why you feel set apart, you might just be walking the path of the chosen. Now let's dive into what it truly means to be chosen by God and how it can transform your life. Being chosen by God is not just about receiving blessings, it's about carrying a divine responsibility. To be chosen means that God has set you apart for a specific purpose, one that aligns with His greater plan for humanity. It is a calling that goes beyond personal desires and comfort. It requires faith, perseverance, and unwavering trust in His guidance. In the Bible, we see numerous examples of individuals who were chosen by God. Moses, who led the Israelites out of Egypt despite his insecurities. Esther, who risked her life to save her people. And David, a shepherd boy who became a king. What do all these figures have in common? They were ordinary people who faced extraordinary challenges, but through their obedience and trust in God, they fulfilled their divine destinies. Being chosen by God does not mean living a life free of struggles. On the contrary, it often means facing greater trials, as God shapes and molds you for the role He has prepared. You might experience moments of doubt, isolation, or difficulty, but each of these challenges is a step toward fulfilling your divine assignment. Moreover, being chosen is not about personal gain. It's about serving others, spreading God's message, and living a life that reflects His love and wisdom. When you accept your calling, you begin to realize that your life has a higher purpose, one that transcends material success and focuses on spiritual fulfillment. So, how do you know if you are truly chosen? The signs are often subtle, but unmistakable. In the next chapter, we will explore the first powerful sign that reveals God's hand in your life, facing unusual challenges in spiritual warfare. One of the most telling signs that you are chosen by God is the presence of unusual challenges and spiritual warfare in your life. Those who are called for a higher purpose often face intense struggles that may seem disproportionate compared to others around them. These challenges are not random. They are designed to refine, strengthen, and prepare you for your divine mission. Throughout the Bible, we see that God's chosen individuals endured great trials. Job, a man of unwavering faith, faced unimaginable losses, yet his perseverance led to restoration and greater blessings. Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers, endured betrayal and hardship before rising to power and fulfilling God's plan to save many lives. Their stories show us that trials are not signs of abandonment. Rather, they are evidence of God's hand shaping you. If you often feel like you are battling unseen forces, whether it's emotional struggles, sudden obstacles, or a constant sense of resistance, this could be spiritual warfare. When God sets you apart, the enemy takes notice and works tirelessly to distract and discourage you. Spiritual attacks can manifest in various ways, including persistent feelings of self-doubt and fear, even when you're pursuing a God-given purpose. Repeated setbacks and obstacles in areas where you are trying to grow spiritually or fulfill your calling. Conflict with those around you, especially when you take steps of faith or commit to serving God. But here's the truth. These challenges are proof that you are on the right path. God allows these trials to strengthen your dependence on Him and to prepare you for greater responsibilities. The key is to respond with faith, prayer, and persistence. Ephesians 6 verse 12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." When faced with spiritual warfare, remember that God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome. Prayer, Scripture, and unwavering trust in His plan are your greatest weapons. Another powerful sign that you are chosen by God is the deep, unshakable sense of purpose and calling that resides within you. No matter where life takes you, there's an inner conviction that you are meant for something greater, something beyond the ordinary. This calling often manifests as a persistent feeling that your life has a divine mission, even if you can't fully articulate what it is yet. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of direction, but those who are chosen often feel a divine pull guiding them toward a specific purpose. This purpose might be serving others, spreading God's message, or using your unique talents to bring light into the world. It's a call that never truly goes away, no matter how much you try to ignore it or distract yourself with worldly pursuits. You may notice signs of this calling in different ways, such as a constant desire to help and uplift others, even when it's inconvenient, an inner restlessness, feeling unsatisfied with a life focused solely on material success, situations where people seek your guidance or support, even when you don't feel qualified, opportunities that align with your gifts and passions, opening doors in unexpected ways. This deep sense of purpose is not random. It's God's way of revealing His plan for you. He plants seeds of purpose in your heart and nurtures them through life experiences, relationships, and even challenges. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." However, embracing your calling isn't always easy. Many chosen individuals struggle with self-doubt, questioning whether they are truly equipped for what God has placed on their hearts. It's important to remember that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. If you feel a strong sense of calling but face resistance, it's not a sign to give up. It's a sign to trust God even more. He is shaping you through every step of the journey, preparing you for greater things ahead. One of the clearest indications that you are chosen by God is the presence of repeated tests of patience and faith in your life. These tests are not meant to break you, but to refine you, strengthen your trust in God, and prepare you for greater responsibilities. If you find yourself going through similar challenges over and over again, it may be because God is working on a specific area of your character. God's chosen individuals often experience prolonged seasons of waiting, uncertainty, and trials that require unwavering faith. This is because He is preparing them for a divine assignment that demands spiritual maturity, resilience, and deep trust in His timing. Consider biblical figures like Abraham, who waited years for God's promise of a son to be fulfilled, or Joseph, who endured years of hardship before stepping into his destiny. These stories show us that God's delays are not denials. They are divine preparation. Some common ways these tests manifest include unanswered prayers that require persistent faith and patience, doors closing unexpectedly, forcing you to trust in God's redirection, challenges that test your obedience, even when things don't make sense, periods of silence from God, where you feel called to trust without clear answers. The purpose behind these tests is to shape you into someone who can handle the blessings and responsibilities that come with being chosen. James 1 verses 3-4 reminds us, "The testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Though these tests can be frustrating and even painful, they are evidence that God is working in your life, preparing you for something greater. Instead of resisting them, embrace them with faith, knowing that each trial is a step closer to fulfilling your divine calling. Another powerful sign that you are chosen by God is the feeling of being set apart and misunderstood by others. If you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in, or that your values and perspectives differ from those around you, it's not a coincidence, it's a calling. God often separates those He has chosen for a unique purpose, and this separation can feel isolating at times. Many chosen individuals experience moments where they feel disconnected from friends, family, or even society as a whole. You may have different priorities, dreams, or convictions that others don't understand. This can be challenging, but it's important to recognize that being set apart is not a punishment. It's a sign that God is preparing you for something greater. As 1 Peter 2 verse 9 reminds us, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." Some common experiences that indicate you are being set apart include feeling out of place in social situations where others engage in activities that don't align with your values, having a deep desire for spiritual growth while those around you remain focused on worldly pursuits, experiencing rejection or criticism for standing firm in your faith and principles, finding comfort in solitude where you can connect with God and seek clarity about your purpose, Throughout the Bible, we see that God's chosen ones were often misunderstood and even rejected by their communities. Jesus himself was not fully accepted by those in his hometown. However, this separation is meant to draw you closer to God and equip you for the calling ahead. If you find yourself feeling different, know that it's because God has set you apart for his glory. Embrace it with confidence, knowing that your uniqueness is part of his divine plan. Another unmistakable sign that you are chosen by God is the experience of receiving divine messages and intuitive guidance in your life. When God has set you apart for a special purpose, he often communicates with you in ways that go beyond the ordinary. Whether through dreams, signs, or a deep inner knowing, these messages serve as a guide to keep you on the right path. God speaks to his chosen ones in various ways, and it's important to remain receptive and spiritually aware to recognize his voice. Some of the most common ways he communicates include dreams and visions that provide clarity, warnings, or encouragement about your life's direction. A strong inner voice or intuition guiding you to make certain decisions or avoid particular situations. Repeated signs and symbols, such as encountering the same scripture, seeing specific numbers, or hearing messages through unexpected sources. Divine appointments where people or opportunities appear at just the right moment, aligning perfectly with your purpose. Throughout the Bible, God used dreams and visions to speak to his chosen people. Think of Joseph, who received divine guidance through dreams that eventually led him to his destiny. Similarly, when you are chosen by God, you may experience moments where everything seems divinely orchestrated, leading you toward fulfilling his plan for your life. However, it's important to discern these messages carefully. Not every thought or experience comes from God. That's why spending time in prayer and seeking confirmation through Scripture is crucial. Proverbs 3 verses 5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." If you often receive intuitive nudges or messages that seem to point you toward a greater purpose, embrace them with faith and discernment. God is leading you step by step. One of the most profound signs that you are chosen by God is the deep and unwavering desire to help others and serve with a compassionate heart. This calling to serve isn't just about performing good deeds. It's an intrinsic need to uplift those around you, reflecting God's love and grace in everything you do. When you are chosen, your heart is naturally drawn to acts of kindness, encouragement, and generosity. You feel a sense of fulfillment when you make a positive impact on others' lives, whether through comforting words, lending a helping hand, or simply being a source of hope for those in need. This desire to serve goes beyond personal recognition. It's about living out God's purpose for you. Common ways this sign manifests include feeling an irresistible urge to support those who are struggling, even at personal cost. A natural ability to empathize and connect with people, offering them wisdom and encouragement. Experiencing joy and peace when engaging in acts of kindness and service. A strong conviction that your life's purpose involves making a meaningful difference in the world. Throughout Scripture, those chosen by God were often called to serve. Jesus himself said in Matthew 23 verse 11, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Being chosen means embodying this principle, leading through humility and selfless service. However, serving others can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like your efforts are unnoticed or unappreciated. But remember, true service is about pleasing God, not people. He sees every act of kindness and rewards those who serve with a pure heart. If you find yourself drawn to helping others without expecting anything in return, it's a clear sign that God has called you for a greater mission. Another undeniable sign that you are chosen by God is the experience of periods of isolation and deep reflection. Many chosen individuals go through seasons where they feel detached from the world, their usual social circles, and even their own ambitions. This solitude is not accidental. It's a divine tool used by God to prepare and strengthen you for your greater purpose. Isolation can feel lonely and challenging, but it serves an essential role in your spiritual journey. During these periods, God removes distractions, allowing you to focus on your relationship with Him, seek clarity, and refine your character. Some of the most profound revelations and spiritual breakthroughs happen in moments of solitude. You may experience this sign in the following ways. Feeling disconnected from friends or family, as if you're on a different spiritual wavelength. A deep yearning for solitude, where you find comfort in prayer, reflection, and personal growth. Periods of silence from God, where you feel called to listen rather than act. Losing interest in worldly pursuits, focusing more on your spiritual development. In the Bible, God often led his chosen ones into isolation before launching them into their destiny. Moses spent years in the wilderness before leading Israel. Elijah withdrew to a cave to hear God's voice. And even Jesus spent 40 days in solitude before beginning his ministry. These moments were crucial for them to prepare spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. If you find yourself in a season of solitude, don't see it as a punishment. Instead, embrace it as a sacred opportunity to grow closer to God, gain wisdom, and prepare for what lies ahead. Psalm 46 verse 10 reminds us, "Be still and know that I am God." Understanding why spiritual tests occur is essential for anyone chosen by God. These tests are not meant to break you, but to refine you, strengthen your character, and prepare you for the greater calling God has placed on your life. Just like gold is refined through fire, your faith and resilience are shaped through challenges and trials. Spiritual tests serve several divine purposes, including strengthening your faith. Trials force you to rely more on God and deepen your trust in his plans. When circumstances seem impossible, your faith is stretched and strengthened. As James 1 verses 3 to 4 states, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Developing patience and endurance. God uses tests to build your endurance, teaching you patience and perseverance in the face of difficulties. These experiences help prepare you for the long journey of fulfilling your divine purpose. Removing distractions and worldly attachments. Spiritual tests often strip away distractions that hinder your relationship with God. They refocus your attention on what truly matters, your connection with him, and your purpose, qualifying you for greater responsibilities. Before entrusting you with a greater mission, God needs to ensure that you are prepared. Tests serve as stepping stones, allowing you to grow into the person he needs you to be. Think of Joseph, who endured years of hardship before being elevated to a position of influence, drawing you closer to God. Trials bring intimacy with God as they push you to seek him in prayer, worship, and reliance. Often, the moments of greatest struggle are when we experience his presence most profoundly. Instead of viewing spiritual tests as obstacles, see them as divine opportunities for growth and transformation. Remember, every challenge you face is a step closer to your destiny. As you embrace your journey, remain faithful, knowing that God's tests are shaping you for something far greater than you can imagine. As we come to the end of this journey, it's important to reflect on what it truly means to be chosen by God. Being chosen is not just a privilege. It's a profound responsibility that requires faith, patience, and perseverance. Each of the signs we've discussed, facing spiritual warfare, feeling a deep sense of purpose, enduring tests, experiencing divine messages, and more, are reminders that God has set you apart for something greater than yourself. If you've identified with these signs, know that you are not alone. Many chosen individuals go through similar experiences, and each challenge is designed to bring you closer to your divine destiny. The trials you face today are shaping you into the person God needs you to be for the future he has planned for you. Now is the time to embrace your calling with faith and courage. Take a moment to reflect on your journey, seek God's guidance, and commit to walking in alignment with his will. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let us know which signs resonated with you the most, and connect with others on the same path. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more spiritual insights that will empower your journey with God. Subscribe now and stay connected to divine wisdom. Remember, God has chosen you for a reason. Embrace it with confidence and faith.